Assalamu alaikum guys, and welcome to another episode of Smile to Jannah. A Zionist Karen indeed attacks a man just because he's wearing a Palestinian scarf and he's with his 18-month-old baby, and she calls him a dog, she calls him a Hamas supporter, and she says, and I quote, "I hope your baby burns in an oven." Allegedly, of course. Currently, this woman has not been arrested and has not been identified by the police, but hopefully this video will contribute in her being brought to justice. Let's have a look at this video.
Your son, go away.
Why?
Yeah, don't, you cannot take anything.
What? I'm
Look. Get away!
She threw her phone viscerally at both our heads, and I ducked and it missed both of us. And at that point I put my son on the ground behind my legs, and when I looked back up, hot coffee was coming towards my face.
Get away!
Why am I getting away?
Get away!
I'm playing with my son here.
She told me she's Jewish American and I don't belong here.
Get away!
You can't. She's attacking me because I'm wearing a scarf.
I told you to leave.
Don't come near me and my son.
Get the out!
I'm not gonna do that. Don't come near me, though.
Don't take pictures
If
of
anyone
me.
else is gonna say anything.
Don't take pictures of me.
I've got a baby.
Get away!
I've got a baby. Huh? Is anyone else gonna say anything? I'm wearing a scarf and I'm getting attacked because apparently I'm a terrorist.
So here we can see this Zionist Karen entering the playground, and might I add, with no child. I'm just saying, that's a bit of a red flag there. So this took place in Edmonds Playground in Fort Greene in Brooklyn, USA, and she was seen marching up to this man who was with his 18-month-old child. And what was she saying? She was saying, "Get out of here, mate. You and your kid." Naturally, the guy was perplexed and curious. Like, why? Why do you want us to leave? Instead of answering his question and speaking like a human being, she proceeded to throw her mobile phone at his head. He managed to duck, and in an interview with CBS, he said, "Had the child not been behind me, it would have landed square on the child's head." Now, after doing this, bear in mind there are people around as well. After doing this, she proceeded to throw the scalding hot cup of coffee at him as well. Now, I know what you're thinking, yeah? This Karen seems to be exuding some very unusual behavior, but she is unlike any regular Karen. Yes, she's a Zionist Karen. Now, why is this important? Because she was claiming ownership of a place where she shouldn't be. And then she proceeded to throw out somebody who deserved to be there with their child. And when they didn't listen, she attacked this civilian and his child with disproportionate force, and then claimed to be the victim when he raised his hands to protect himself from the scalding cup of coffee. I think this is clear, yeah, that our friend and his 18-month-old child have indeed been Israeled. Now, the twist in the story, the cherry on the cake, is the fact that our friend over here is not a Muslim and he's not an Arab. He was just wearing the Palestinian scarf. He goes by the name of Ashish Prasher, and he's actually of Punjabi Indian origin.
Prashar, whose family is from India, is appalled that he has become another case of mistaken identity and a victim of a possible hate crime because of the color of his skin.
I'm Punjabi, I was born in London, but it doesn't mean I don't have solidarity with anyone in the world who is seeking to be free.
So this proves and evidences that the Palestine issue is not an issue of Arabs and Muslims, it's a human issue. And if you don't stand up for the Palestinians, chances are, mate, hate does not discriminate and it's going to spill over. You got all of these Indians pledging their allegiance to Israel, and here's one of your own, mate, that's facing the brunt of these Zionists, emboldened Zionists. Now, just in case somebody tries to side with this woman, yeah, let's break this down. This woman comes in charging, using expletives in front of this child. She is swearing, using the most foul of language. Number two, she's clearly raising her voice. She's shouting, mate, aggressive. She starts throwing stuff, aiming for the guy's head and not caring that there's a child there as well. To such a degree that towards the end of the video, somebody comes and says, "I'm sorry you had to go through that. is there anything that I can do to help? So you have an objective observer that comes up to the man rather than the woman. Just in case somebody goes, but we haven't seen the start of the video, we don't know what's going on. If indeed it was the man that was oppressing the woman, you'd see a crowd of people. But because it's a man, it's alright. He can take it, mate. And on top of that, because he's brown, that's double power, mate, yeah? Kevlar bodyguard, mate, yeah? You know what I mean? And if the case flipped and the attacker was Palestinian and brown and she was the victim, getting coffee thrown on her, I guarantee you, mate, front page news. That's right. And like I mentioned in a CBS interview, the man said other stuff that were not caught on camera. You know, stuff that we've been hearing in the news, frankly, of Israel doing to Palestinian kids. It's just appalling. This playing the victim card just seems to be all too frequent, such that even regular people from the streets feel emboldened. And this is because constantly whenever Biden and our political elites get asked, do you think there should be a ceasefire so the civilians that are struggling and suffering so they can get a bit of a breather, he says no.
What are the chances of a Gaza ceasefire? No possibility.
The fourth strongest military on the planet being armed by the West, no problem. Israel has a right to defend itself. You got the Palestinians there, ignored by the Muslim nations, frankly, trying to survive and defend themselves on their own. Do you condemn what they're doing, mate? You know what I mean? That's the question. Forget about everything else, mate. Yeah? And in case you don't forget, there's going to be random people that have been brainwashed by the media and they're going to come and beat their sense into you, mate. Just remember, freedom of speech and all that sort of stuff. And free society. Not for you though, yeah, if you're a Palestine supporter. Just make sure you bear that in mind. So like I said, guys, she hasn't been found yet. No arrests have been made, which is shocking, frankly. So I'm going to put this woman's face on the screen. Let's bring her to justice and let's get justice for our Punjabi friend and his 18-month-old child. Let's leave it there, guys. Until next time. Assalamu alaikum.